am Thor Odin's son. Welcome to Ragnarok.
Movie should be fun. Movie should be fun. Movie should be fun. Movie should be fun. Yeah.
Hello, this is Grumpy Phil, and welcome to Movie Should Be Fun. Today we are talking about Thor Ragnarok, which is the third of the Thor movies and the fifth movie to feature Thor. I don't know. Anyway, Thor Ragnarok, starring Thor and Loki and all your usual cast of wonderful Asgardians, including, for probably one last time, Thor's father, Odin. That was a nice touch that they did that there. They got Anthony Hopkins back before we can't get Anthony Hopkins back anymore. So Thor Ragnarok. There was some really cool visuals in this film. So it opens, spoilers all the way through, spoilers. It opens and we're in sort of normal Thor territory. The visuals are relatively similar. And at the end of the film, when we return to Asgard, it's sort of there as well. And that's fine because I love Asgard. I like all that. But the stuff on the weird rubbish planet, the name of which I can't remember, that a fantastic, absolutely fantastic Jeff Goldblum runs. Those visuals are incredible. The art design, the lighting, the look of it. If you thought Guardian of the Galaxy looked sort of new and cool and sort of a little bit trippy, this is like that times 1,000. I cannot talk enough about the beauty of the visuals and the art design in that sort of main chunk of the film when they're on that planet. I mean, when I say beautiful, I mean ridiculous, sort of trippy, out there, comic book sort of stuff, and it's fantastic. Thor's new look, they cut off his hair, which at first I was like, no, don't cut Samson's hair, but it looks cool. He's got that sort of aquamarine shoulder pad thing, the cape down off one shoulder onto the hip. I love all the visuals of this. The Hulk is looking better than ever. He's got some great comedy moments, but they're good. They're not too much rehashy, although there is a sort of flip-flop rehash, but you know, it was kind of fun. He can talk a lot more now, the Hulk, which makes for some interesting character dynamics. So we should talk about the characters. Some people might not like what they've done to the characters. They have changed them. Thor is still strong, still heroic, still the Asgardian prince sort of guy, but he's also a sort of bumbling fool. And I really like that. I thought that was fantastic. The Marvel movies, they started off pretty well. Well, some of them did. Some of them are good now, but you cannot deny they've become horribly formulaic and boring. They might be good on a first watch, and then you watch them again and you're like, I feel like this will be good on a second watch. Obviously, I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy, I really liked the first time, and then the second watch, I was like, oh, bored. Standard Marvel tropes coming into play again. So we'll see if that happens to me with this one. I feel like this will last longer for me, because I've always loved Thor. I like the other Thor movies too, even though they don't sort of make full use of them. And this one just goes to 11 with your Thor. So I think it'll stand up to rewatches, because it's really genuinely funny. Anything with Jeff Goldblum in it, apart from Independence Day 2, it's probably worth a rewatch, because Jeff Goldblum, the man reads people books in planes. He's amazing. I love Jeff Goldblum. I love him so much. I want him to sit by me and narrate things to me, tell me my life, tell me wisdom, be Jeff Goldblum to me. Even the prisoners with jobs owning Jeff Goldblum we saw in Thor Ragnarok. Cate Blanchett is pretty good as Hela. She is one of the better Marvel villains. I wouldn't say they've solved their villain problem. Their villains are an uninteresting problem. But she is a lot better than some others we've seen. Loki, probably still one of the best. Loki is in this film a lot. He is your relatively normal Loki, maybe a little bit more subdued, but he has some great moments with Thor. I love the bit where Thor says, haha, no, I'm not falling for this again, you stay here. Like, you know, you're not doing the whole I trust you, then you let me down thing. And I thought that was so clever. I was like, haha, that's funny, yes. But then they did ruin that a little bit with him coming back and helping at the end. But, you know, I'll get over it because it was awesome. Valkyrie, I loved Valkyrie. Sif and the Warriors 3 never really became that much of a big thing in the Thor movies. And, you know, that's a bit of a shame because there was some real potential with that for awesomeness. But Valkyrie blows them out the water. Valkyrie and Thor, that is a great team. They have great chemistry, so if they do decide to go down the romantic path, it wouldn't be too bad, you know, it would be relatively believable. But if they don't, they make a great fighting team together. The Hulk was brilliant in this. He worked so well as a sort of side add-on character. Yes, they changed Bruce Banner's character a lot. He became a lot sort of weirder and more, but he'd been trapped in the Hulk for 2 years and remembered basically nothing. So I can forgive that. And I say forgive like I care. I don't care. These films are superhero films. They're comic book films. They're not The Godfather. You can change the characters around a bit. You can make it a bit different. You can try something new. That's more or less what they've done with Thor Ragnarok. If you strip the story down, it is still quite a standard Marvel film. The plot doesn't deviate too much from what we've seen a lot of times before now. But it's so funny that you sort of stop caring. I hope that holds up on second viewing. Because yes, the story isn't groundbreaking. There isn't an awful lot in there. But it's got Gladiator scenes that are better than Gladiator and so much better than Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. This is the best Gladiator arena scenes I've seen in a film. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. The humor works so well. There's almost no dud points. They come out with stuff that you're just not expecting for a Marvel film, like Hell's Anus. Your hammer pulls you off. I mean, I was on the floor laughing nearly in the cinema with these because Sarah said, your hammer pulls you off. That big stone guy was fantastic. What is his name? Krog, I think? I absolutely loved him. We've seen the actor who does the voice work before and stuff like Flight of the Conchords, I believe. And he's fantastic. He's so funny. Just with that voice. I'm not sure if they did motion capture or not with the rock creature. He didn't emote an awful lot, so if they did, if they didn't, you kind of can't tell. But with the voice, he gets across so much humor and so much ridiculousness. And he went so well with Thor, and I really hope we see him again. The visual, the idea of sort of Thor and his refugee ship of Asgardians, and that the colors and the design of this, it was very 70s, 80s trippy sci-fi film. They go off to Earth to find new pastures and things. But just the images, it was so comic book in a way. It was the sort of thing that becomes iconic when you're a child. And it tapped into that real childlike imagination within me of these visuals. Yes, they were cheesy, and yes, perhaps the design didn't necessarily make sense in every situation. But it's just, that look just burrows into your brain, and it's just like, yes, this is beautiful. The soundtrack working fantastically with the visuals in that rubbish planet bit. That bit of the film is the film for me. The stuff at the beginning, tell you what, my weakest point in this film was the stuff with Doctor Strange. I haven't watched Doctor Strange because I started and I thought, oh, I don't really care about Doctor Strange. I'm sorry, but I just don't care. And that stuff was quite weak. Sorry for Doctor Strange fans. We didn't need that. They could have just done the old people home gag which was being demolished, which was funny, and then they just found him. But, you know, it was there. It was that sort of Marvel tie-in with another character that they always have to do. And it in no way ruined the film. It was out the way early, and then we didn't see him again. And I very much enjoyed the fact that we did not see him again. Other little Marvel ties-in worked better. We're seeing Black Widow, seeing Scarlett Johansson on the screen in the crashed sort of rocket ship fighter plane thing that then returned Hulk to Bruce Bannerdom. That was a good use of an Avenger tie-in. And there were mentions made of other Avengers, but not to the point where if you haven't seen some of the films, you're not going to enjoy this. This film doesn't overly depend on the other films. Yes, there's mentions to stuff, and of course, at the stinger at the end, which is presumably Thanos' ship coming down. You might not know what that is, but who's not getting a bit bored of these stingers? However, having said that, if they keep making films that are a little bit more individual, a little bit more just this one film, beginning, middle, end, this film is this story. It's not episode 3 in part Avengers 87. And then you have a stinger, which sets up the next film. I'll take that. That's how it used to be, actually. Look at the first Iron Man. Very much like that. The first Captain America. They were sort of pretty much standalone films. You got a stinger at the end, was like, oh, by the way, we're going to tie this in like this. Yeah, that cool. See you later. Bye. Do that again. Yeah, I hope this holds up. I hope this holds up because for me, Civil War has not held up. Guardians of the Galaxy hasn't held up as well as I hoped it would. Both Avengers films didn't do an awful lot for me. I've probably given away what I think about this, but Thor Ragnarok, was this movie fun? Hell yes, this movie was fun. I really loved Thor Ragnarok. I recommend you go and see it so that Marvel know that we want more films like this. More Thor Ragnaroks, less Avengers Age of Ultron. Sorry, Joss Whedon fans. This was better. This was just better. For me. Everyone's opinion. Everyone's opinion is different. That is fine. This is for my opinion. My opinion is that Thor Ragnarok is possibly the best Marvel movie since the first Iron Man. The first Iron Man is, of course, undisputably the best Marvel film. And I will fight you if you disagree. I won't fight you. I will walk away shaking my head, disappointed. Like this. and then I'll turn and walk away. Yeah. Thor Ragnarok. Go and see it. Grumpy Phil signing out. Your hammer pulls you